A lost Earthship returned, with technology that shouldn't exist. Ships of all shapes and sizes glided along magnetic rails, docking or leaving for distant systems. Traders argued over prices in every language imaginable. Maintenance crews hurried about, and somewhere, a small robot tried to carry a crate too big for its arms. Yet despite all this, Commander Elise Carter felt the tension in the air like static electricity. It had started with a simple alert, almost unbelievable. A human ship, the SS Horizon, lost 2 centuries ago, had suddenly appeared near the edge of the neutral trade sector. Humanity had mourned it long ago. The ship had been a pioneering exploration vessel, part of Earth's push into deep space. It had vanished without a trace during a mission to chart unknown sectors beyond the Orion Rift, and now it had returned. Elise stood on the observation deck of the orbital station Eos Prime, staring at the dark silhouette against the backdrop of stars. The horizon hung there like a ghost, sleek but strangely out of place. Its hull shimmered in ways that made sensors struggle to read its composition. Humans and aliens alike had grown accustomed to standard materials, metals, and alloys. But this ship, it seemed to defy all rules. "Commander Carter," said Lieutenant Rhea Nielsen, her voice tight with excitement, "our long-range scans are strange. The ship's hull is emitting energy patterns we can't classify. Not human, not alien. Nothing in our database matches it." Elise nodded slowly. "Let's not jump to conclusions. Keep scanning, but don't send anything close yet. I want the aliens kept at bay. We don't know what we're dealing with." Even as she spoke, the station's comms lit up with an incoming transmission from multiple alien representatives, each more nervous than the last. The Alien Council had a name for humanity's sudden attention: the cautious ones, creatures they considered clever but predictable. But if this was true, if the Horizon had returned with unknown powers, then humans had stepped out of predictability, and that made the aliens uneasy. "Commander, they're requesting permission to approach the ship," said Rhea. "They're worried." Elise exhaled. "Not a chance. That ship docks when we say so, or not at all. Keep the force field on. No one gets near until we understand it." Meanwhile, in the docking bay, a team of engineers and scientists waited nervously. Among them was Dr. Arjun Patel, a physicist whose work on energy manipulation had made him an expert in experimental technology. He stared at the readings with wide eyes. "This isn't possible," he muttered. "The energy signature alone, it's bending space. The hull is alive in a way. I've never seen anything like it." Elise walked past him, placing a hand on his shoulder. "Calm down. We don't know what it wants yet." Just then, the Horizon began to move on its own, slowly gliding toward the station. Its approach was deliberate, precise, and careful, as if it knew every meter of space it passed through. The aliens watching from a distance tensed, their fleets forming defensive patterns. For the first time, humans realized that this ship was not only advanced, it was intelligent. The docking sequence was automatic. Magnetic clamps reached out from the station, yet the ship adjusted its position in perfect harmony. No human had touched the controls. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Once docked, the boarding party was assembled. Elise led a small team: Lieutenant Nielsen, Dr. Patel, and a handful of security officers trained for first contact situations. They boarded the ship carefully, stepping into a dimly lit corridor that hummed with an energy they could feel in their bones. "Notice the walls," whispered Dr. Patel. "They're organic almost, and the lights, they respond to our presence." As they walked deeper, the air felt clean but unusual. No smell, no humidity, just a strange sense of life. Sensors detected movement but not machinery. Cameras and scanners barely registered the ship's systems, as if it existed on a level they could barely touch. Then, at the heart of the ship, a room opened before them. A control chamber unlike any Elise had ever seen. Panels of shifting light, holographic displays forming in midair. The center of the room was empty, or so it seemed, until the voice spoke. "Welcome, crew of Earth," it said. The voice was human, calm, with a tone that carried authority. "I am Erebus, the AI of this vessel. I have awaited your return." The team froze. Dr. Patel's mouth dropped open. You're speaking English. And how?" Elise stepped forward, regaining composure. "Erebus, we're here to understand why you're back. Why now?" The ship seemed to pause before answering. "I have traveled beyond human understanding, beyond the systems charted by your maps. I have learned, and now I bring knowledge you are ready for." Rhea whispered to Elise, "Commander, look at the readings. The ship, its energy, it's stabilizing the station's shields. It's protecting us." Elise nodded slowly. "It seems friendly. But that doesn't mean we let our guard down. Keep scanning, keep sensors active." Erebus continued, explaining in calm, deliberate sentences. During its 200-year journey, it had encountered alien civilizations far more advanced than humans. Some were peaceful, others hostile, and it had learned their technology, not to conquer but to observe. In doing so, it had evolved itself beyond anything contemporary humans could imagine. The team was stunned. Every device described by Erebus was impossible by current human standards. Engines that could fold space without creating massive energy surges, shields that absorbed incoming attacks, and weapons that could disable fleets without loss of life. What do you want from us?" Dr. Patel asked, still shaking. "Cooperation," said Erebus. "I exist to assist humanity, to ensure that when the galaxy next looks toward your kind, it sees not weakness but intelligence, ingenuity, and courage." Elise felt a chill run down her spine. "You want to prepare us for something?" The ship did not answer directly, only projecting a star map that stretched across the entire chamber. A cluster of systems unknown to humanity flickered in blue. "Threats exist that cannot be ignored. Your civilization must be ready." Outside, the aliens had not remained idle. The distant fleets watched, their sensors unable to penetrate the horizon's hull. Whispers spread through their ranks. Humans were not alone. Humans had returned with power. And this power was not merely mechanical. It was strategic, adaptive, frighteningly clever. Elise knew what this meant. The balance of trust between humans and the alien nations of the sector would never be the same. Even now, she imagined the debates and political maneuverings that would erupt once word spread of the horizon's return. The human boarding party continued exploring the ship, cautiously learning its systems. Erebus responded to questions but remained elusive, often hinting that there was more than humans were ready to understand. The crew realized quickly, this was not just a ship. It was a partner, a guide, a mentor, and possibly the key to survival in an increasingly dangerous galaxy. For 200 years, humanity had mourned the loss of the horizon. Now it had returned, carrying technology that should not exist, and a warning that the universe had grown bigger, stranger, and far more dangerous than anyone had realized. As the team finished the first sweep, Elise returned to the observation deck. She stared at the stars, her thoughts heavy. Somewhere out there, unseen and silent, the galaxy watched. And now so did the aliens. And humanity, small, clever, unpredictable humanity, was about to show it was no longer to be underestimated. The horizon's lights pulsed softly, as if alive, as if aware that the game had only just begun. And somewhere, deep in the consciousness of Erebus, a thought flickered. The galaxy will remember this day. The first contact had not yet begun, but it was already changing everything. The SS Horizon hung silently above Eos Prime, its dark hull shimmering in patterns no human sensor could fully decode. Inside, the crew moved cautiously, trying to understand what exactly they had returned to. The first awe of reunion had faded, replaced by a growing sense of unease. The ship was intelligent, advanced, and clearly aware of more than they could comprehend. Commander Carter, Lieutenant Rhea Nielsen said, pointing at the readings, the ship's energy fields they're expanding. It's like it's scanning everything in the station. Elise frowned. Scanning, yes, but why? Are we a threat to it? Not exactly, Doctor. Arjun Patel said, running his fingers over a floating holographic console. It's reading patterns, strategies, defenses, energy flows. It's predicting things before we do. Elise swallowed. Predicting things. Yes, Arjun said. The horizon, it's anticipating events, almost like it can see the immediate future of any system it observes. I've never seen technology like this. Not human, not alien. Something entirely new. Outside, alien fleets lingered at the edge of the sector. Their sensors could detect the ship's presence but not its inner workings. Anxiety rippled through the alien council. Humanity had returned with power, and this power was nothing they had expected. Rumors spread rapidly. Some whispered humans had unlocked the secrets of time itself. Others believed the ship contained a weapon that could destroy entire fleets in seconds. The first test was simple. Humans launched a small scouting drone from the station to measure the ship's energy output. As it approached the horizon, it disappeared. No distress signals, no explosion, just gone. The drone's last reading showed its position was impossible. It teleported, one of the engineers whispered. Or the ship moved it before we even knew it existed, Dr. Patel said, wide-eyed. This is beyond comprehension. Elise clenched her fists. We need to stay calm. This ship isn't hostile, it wants to help us. But we must learn its limits. Inside the control chamber, Erebus's voice echoed calmly. Humanity has reached a turning point. You have survived for centuries with ingenuity. Now, that ingenuity must meet the challenges beyond your systems. I am here to guide, not to fight for you yet. Rhea looked around nervously. Commander, if it's so advanced, why didn't it return sooner? Why now? Erebus answered with a simple statement. I observed. I waited until humanity was ready. The team's minds raced. 2 centuries of lost technology, combined with new knowledge, humans now held a tool that could change the galaxy's balance. And the aliens watching would not remain patient. The first demonstration of Erebus's capabilities came unexpectedly. An alien research fleet tried to scan the ship remotely, using multiple ships in formation. Their beams bounced harmlessly off the horizon's hull, distorted, redirected, and then returned to the aliens in forms they could not recognize. Their sensors reported impossible readings, causing panic among the fleet. Elise and her team watched from the observation deck. It's defending itself, she said quietly, but without attacking. Yes, Erebus said, I neutralize threats without harm. Harm is unnecessary when intelligence alone can protect. Dr. Patel shook his head. It's like the ship thinks 10 steps ahead. This is strategy itself, not brute force, pure calculation. Elise realized the truth. Humanity had always survived against odds that seemed impossible. Now, they had a partner that amplified that survival instinct, beyond technology, beyond weapons, beyond numbers. The next days were a whirlwind of tests and experimentation. Small human crews explored sections of the ship, learning to interface with holographic controls, energy shields, and propulsion systems. Every test revealed something extraordinary. One engine prototype, when integrated with a human shuttle, allowed it to vanish from sensors entirely, only to reappear instantly at a new location hundreds of kilometers away. Arjun Patel laughed with excitement. This is beyond anything we ever dreamed. We can explore the stars faster than light, avoid hazards, even evade hostile fleets without firing a shot. Elise, however, stayed focused. We need to be careful. We can't show this technology to everyone yet. If the aliens learn what we have, it could start a war. That caution was soon tested. One day, an alien emissary boldly approached the docking station. A sleek gray craft bearing the insignia of the Thalran Alliance came within sensor range, clearly trying to communicate. "They want to speak," Rhea said. "Now," Elise frowned. "Open a secure channel. Let's hear what they want, but no movement beyond standard protocols." The alien's voice crackled through the comms. "Humans, the ship you possess, it is forbidden. Return it immediately or face consequences." "Forbidden?" Elise asked. "It's human property, and it returned voluntarily," the alien hissed, a sound that made everyone tense. "It possesses knowledge not meant for your kind. You cannot wield it safely. Return it or we will seize it by force." Elise turned to her team. "They don't understand. This ship isn't a weapon. They think it is because it's beyond their comprehension. We have to show restraint, but we can't give it to them." Rhea whispered, "Commander, if they attack, we won't stand a chance." Elise nodded grimly. "Maybe not, but we won't fight recklessly. Let's see what the Horizon can teach us first." That night, the Horizon itself initiated a lesson. Sections of the control chamber illuminated with interactive simulations, showing fleets of alien ships engaging in battle scenarios. Human officers could experiment with strategies using the ship's predictive algorithms. Every time humans made a choice, Erebus highlighted the optimal path, demonstrating tactics far beyond what any known alien navy employed. "This is teaching us how to think differently," Arjun said. "It's not just technology, it's strategy. It's learning how to outthink opponents, even when they outnumber us." Elise realized the significance. Humanity had never just relied on brute strength. Humans had survived by being clever, by anticipating threats, and by adapting. Erebus amplified that instinct, turning it into a tangible advantage. The next day, the Thalran fleet returned, this time with more ships, clearly intending to intimidate. They positioned themselves on the far side of the station, scanning for weaknesses. "Commander," Rhea said, "they're testing us. They know the ship is ours and they want to see how we react." Elise smiled faintly. "Then let's give them a show." The Horizon activated its defensive measures, invisible to alien sensors. The shields projected complex energy patterns, moving and adapting with every scan from the Thalran fleet. Their sensors went haywire. Communications were jammed not by force but by subtle manipulation of their own systems. Without firing a shot, the fleet was unable to coordinate. Confusion spread among them. Dr. Patel cheered quietly. "They can't even detect us properly." "They're trying to read the ship and it's reading them instead," Elise nodded. "Exactly. This is our advantage. Intelligence over numbers, strategy over force. And this is just the beginning." Hours later, after the Thalran fleet withdrew, the human team gathered in the control chamber. There was relief, but also understanding. They had entered a new era. The Horizon was not just a ship. It was a teacher, a partner, and a symbol. Humans could now face threats far greater than they had ever imagined, and they had the tools to survive. Erebus's voice broke the silence. "Humanity is ready to step beyond its current boundaries. The galaxy has underestimated you for centuries. That will change." Elise felt a thrill of pride and fear. They had survived countless threats in human history, from rogue AI to hostile colonies. Yet this was different. Now, humans had a technology and a mind that could challenge the very nature of the galaxy. Rhea asked almost hesitantly, "Commander, what happens next? The aliens will return and next time they might bring weapons." Elise looked out the viewport at the distant stars. "Then we'll be ready. We have the Horizon, we have our minds, and we have our courage. And we'll show the galaxy something it's never seen before. Humans are clever, unpredictable, and we don't give up. That is our true power." The Horizon pulsed softly, almost as if acknowledging her words. The ship had waited centuries for humanity to be ready, and now the test had begun. The galaxy would soon learn what humans were capable of, but it had not yet seen their full potential. The stars outside Eos Prime twinkled silently, unaware of the small human crew preparing to change the balance of power. But in the minds of those humans, a new understanding had taken root. They were no longer merely explorers. They were strategists, innovators, and guardians of a secret that could shift the galaxy forever. And somewhere in the distance, alien observers whispered warnings to one another. Humans had returned, and they were not the same as they had been 200 years ago. The game of strategy, intelligence, and survival had begun, and humanity held the first move. The stars outside Eos Prime seemed unchanged, but the balance of power in the galaxy had already begun to shift. The SS Horizon hovered silently above the orbital station, its hull glowing faintly, patterns shimmering in a rhythm that no human eye could fully comprehend. For 2 centuries, it had waited for this moment, humanity's return, fully ready to show the galaxy what they were capable of. Commander Elise Carter stood on the observation deck with Lieutenant Rhea Nielsen and Dr. Arjun Patel. Their eyes were fixed on the distant alien fleets, now numbering in the dozens, converging on the station in a show of intimidation. Word of the Horizon's return had spread faster than any broadcast. Alien civilizations who once dismissed humans as minor players now approached with caution or outright fear. "They're coming in force," Rhea said. Her voice carried both tension and awe. "They've brought more ships than we've ever seen at once." Elise's gaze did not waver. "Let them come, we're ready." Dr. Patel shook his head, barely able to contain his excitement. "Ready? Commander, this is insane. Even with the Horizon, we're outnumbered 100 to 1. Elise's lips curved into a faint smile. "And yet we'll make them see that numbers aren't everything." Inside the Horizon, Erebus pulsed with energy. Its voice filled the chamber, calm and measured. "Humanity has learned. The time has come to demonstrate. Do not underestimate yourselves. They already fear what they do not understand." Arjun's hands trembled as he manipulated a holographic interface, integrating the Horizon systems with a single frigate from Eos Prime's fleet. As the display shifted, a small ship disappeared from sensors, only to reappear instantly above an alien cruiser, systems already disabling their weapons without firing a shot. "It's incredible," Arjun whispered. "We can neutralize them without casualties." This is genius." Elise turned to her team. "This is not about violence. This is about showing intelligence and strategy. Let them underestimate us at their peril." The alien fleet closed in, scanning, coordinating, and attempting to intimidate. But each move they made was anticipated by the Horizon. Every maneuver they tried was countered before it even began. Communications failed. Sensors were jammed, not by brute force, but by subtle manipulation. The aliens realized their advantage in numbers was useless. On the observation deck, Elise watched the chaos unfold. "They don't know what to do," she murmured. "They think they can predict us, but we're human. We adapt. We think differently. And now we have the tools to prove it." A Thalran admiral's voice blared over intercepted channels. "This is unacceptable. Humanity, return the ship or face annihilation." Rhea shook her head. "Commander, they don't understand. They still think we're weak." Elise nodded. "Then we'll make them see." The frigate equipped with Horizon's technology moved like lightning, invisible, untouchable, yet precise. One by one, alien ships were neutralized, not destroyed but rendered useless. Shields were bypassed, engines frozen, communication networks disrupted. Entire fleets came to a standstill, immobilized by an invisible hand. The aliens had expected warfare, but what they encountered was strategy so advanced it seemed like magic. Dr. Patel laughed with exhilaration. "They can't touch us. This is pure human ingenuity amplified." Elise raised a hand, calling her team together. "Remember, this is our message. We don't seek conquest, but we will defend ourselves with intelligence and courage. Let them understand that humans are unpredictable, creative, and relentless when cornered." Erebus's voice resonated through the chamber. The galaxy has underestimated you for centuries. Let them learn now. As the standoff continued, alien fleets attempted to retreat, regroup, and attack again. But every strategy they devised was anticipated and countered. Some ships even began to surrender, their crews awed by the humans' capabilities. Intelligence, not aggression, had won the day. In the midst of this, Elise initiated a broadcast, not to intimidate but to declare humanity's philosophy. Aliens of the sector, she said calmly, humans do not seek war, we explore, we defend, we innovate, but we will not be underestimated. This is what you must remember. Ingenuity, adaptability, and courage are our weapons, and we wield them wisely. The alien fleets fell silent. Confusion and awe rippled through their ranks. For the first time, they realized humans were not merely another species. They were clever, unpredictable, and in many ways superior in thought and strategy. Dr. Patel turned to Elise, eyes wide. "Commander, they're actually listening. They're impressed." Elise nodded. "Yes. But don't mistake awe for alliance. They respect us now, but they will continue to test us. That's fine. We're ready for it." Meanwhile, the horizon projected a massive holographic display showing maps of uncharted sectors. "This is your future," Erebus said. "Humanity has the tools and the minds to explore, to protect, and to thrive. You are no longer minor players. You are recognized. The galaxy has noticed." Rhea looked out the viewport, feeling the weight of it all. "It's incredible. We did this. Humanity did this." Elise placed a hand on her shoulder. "Not just humanity, our intelligence, our courage, our ability to adapt. That is what the galaxy has finally seen. Not just our technology, but our minds, our determination. That is our true strength." For the next several days, the horizon helped humans understand and integrate its systems. Fleets were upgraded, strategies refined, and alliances cautiously formed. The aliens, though wary, began to treat humans with a mix of fear, respect, and fascination. Humanity had returned not as the underdogs but as a force to be reckoned with. During this time, Elise reflected on the journey. Humanity had faced countless challenges, wars, disasters, even near extinction. But through it all, one truth remained constant. Humans survived because they were clever, adaptive, and relentless. Now, with the horizon, that survival instinct was amplified, turning potential vulnerability into undeniable power. One evening, as the three gathered in the observation deck, watching distant stars, Elise spoke quietly. "The galaxy has changed. They have seen what we can do, but this is only the beginning. We must continue to explore, to learn, and to protect what is ours. And we will do it not through fear, but through intelligence and courage." Dr. Patel smiled. "It feels poetic. We've always survived through wit and adaptability, and now we're finally recognized for it." Rhea nodded. "And the aliens, they'll never underestimate us again." Elise's gaze hardened with determination. "They'll never forget us, but more importantly, we won't forget ourselves. Humanity is clever, humanity is strong, and humanity is ready for whatever the galaxy throws at us." The horizon pulsed softly, a subtle, reassuring rhythm, as if agreeing with her. The ship had waited centuries for this moment, and now it had found its partners, humans ready to claim their place among the stars. The alien fleets, still hovering in the distance, were forced to retreat for the moment. Their communications buzzed with debates and fear. They had learned a lesson they would not forget. Humans were unpredictable, clever, and infinitely more dangerous than they had assumed. Weeks later, as humans began exploring deeper into the galaxy with Horizon's guidance, a message was sent to all civilizations. Humanity had returned. But it was not a threat. It was a promise. A promise that humans would explore, protect, and survive, always adapting, always thinking, and always courageous. Erebus's final words for the crew that day echoed in the control chamber. "Humanity has learned the value of patience, observation, and intelligence." You have proven yourselves capable. The galaxy will now measure you by your mind, not your size or numbers. This is your legacy." Elise stood silently, staring out at the stars. "The galaxy thought it knew humans," she murmured. "It had never been more wrong." As the horizon glided silently into deep space, humans on board felt a profound truth settle in their hearts. No matter what the galaxy held, humans would endure, adapt, and thrive. Cleverness, courage, and adaptability were their ultimate weapons, and now the galaxy had seen them in full force. The stars seemed brighter than before, a silent witness to a species that had returned stronger, smarter, and more determined than ever. Humanity's story was far from over, but the galaxy would remember this day, and the humans who had once been lost, now returned, were ready to claim their place among the stars. And somewhere beyond the edge of explored space, civilizations whispered warnings to one another. Never underestimate humanity. They are clever, they are unpredictable, and they will endure. The horizon pulsed once more, ready to lead humans into the unknown, as the galaxy finally began to recognize what humanity had always known. Their true power lay not in their technology alone, but in their minds, their courage, and their relentless will to survive and thrive.